So I went to upload this video. I put together all of the segments that I've recorded, and as I was about to do so, I realised that I'd never introduced myself or the channel. So here I am at the very end of the week doing the intro. Ridiculous, but welcome to the Yarn and Yarns YouTube. My name is Angela, and you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Rainbow Ange. We also have a Facebook page and an Instagram account for my little yarn shop where I'm recording from today, and that is Yarn and Yarns, the same as the YouTube channel. And here on the channel you'll find videos which are basically consist of me chatting about my adventures in knitting, crochet, sometimes spinning and sewing, and also my adventures of being a yarn shop owner. Thank you for joining me. You are very, very welcome, whether you've been here before or are a returning viewer. I appreciate each and every one of you spending a little bit of time during your busy weeks to spend with me. Morning. You'll be forgiven for thinking it's still Saturday, because I'm sat in exactly the same spot that I chatted to you from yesterday. The only difference being my cat Newt is behind me. I was just going to show you her, and of course she disappears. Let me pan around. Oh, that's attractive. Maybe I'll cut that out. Maybe not. Right, hang on. There you go, that's a slightly more flattering angle of Newt. I think I'm going to leave that in. Sorry, people. So it's Sunday morning, and I've just woken up. I haven't even brushed my hair for you all. I'm surprised I have anyone watching these videos, the state I'm in half the time, but hey ho. So yeah, Saturday disappeared in a blur. I didn't do any of the things that I said, apart from going into the shop. When I got home from the shop, we decided to go out for a late lunch, and yeah, the day just disappeared. So I didn't get much done at all. This morning, I think we are going to go out again, so I don't know how much video there will be. I have just edited I say edited in the loosest sense of the word, because I don't really have many editing skills, but I've just faffed around with last week's video, so I'm going to upload that to YouTube this morning. While I'm doing that, I'm working on father-in-law's sock. I have done the heel turn, so now I'm just decreasing the gusset stitches, and yeah, that's it for now really. Hopefully I shall remember to take a little bit of video today, regardless of whether I get any knitting or anything done. If we do go out and about, then if I remember, I'll take a few clips from wherever it is that we end up. It's now much later on Sunday. It's about 3:30 in the afternoon. Just got back from a walk. We didn't get out as early as I thought we might, but that's okay. It's Sunday. We're allowed to be lazy on Sundays. Contrary to what this picture might show, I have actually brushed my hair between this morning and now, but we've been outside and I've been wearing a hat, so I've now got hat hair. I'm still wearing my Selkie shawl. Just flip you down so you can have a look. And I'm just waiting to warm up after being out in the cold. We just walked down to the front. We're really lucky here in that we live 5 minutes walk away from the seafront, so we just popped down there. I had some soup for lunch and James had a bacon sandwich, and I shall put a little bit of footage from that in here. So now we're back home. I am planning on winding up some wool for a couple of new projects. Now, I was trying really hard to concentrate on some of the things that I've got on the needles before I start anything new, but you know what, sometimes you need to treat yourself to a new cast on. So I will be winding up this skein of opal yarn. It looks a bit scruffy. Again, another one that was damaged when we had the flood in the shop. This is colourway 7474, and these are going to be a pair of socks for my gran for Christmas. My gran visited us a couple of weekends ago, and she was admiring some of my hand knit socks, so I thought I would give it a go and knit her a pair for Christmas. I usually make her something, and she has quite small feet, so as soon as my father-in-law socks are finished, which I'm hoping will be at some point today or tomorrow, these ones will go on the needles. I'm also casting on a brand new project for me. I've had this pattern on my queue for quite some time. It is the Somerset versus Norway mittens. There's a picture of the mittens, and I have got a couple of skeins of Quince & Co. Owl yarn, which I've never knit with before. I bought this yarn. I've got the grey and I have got a pinky colour. I bought these two on a trip to London last year when I visited Loop, and I have been meaning to cast these mitts on since then, and well, you know how that goes. I'm only just getting round to thinking about that now. So yes, I'm going to wind these up, and then I shall go back downstairs, and we're going to play a bit of Final Fantasy, and I shall be doing some knitting. So this is my yarn winding setup. Ignore the crazy chaos in the background. I have got my Swift there on top of my unit, and then I have the ball winder over the other side of the unit. These are both fairly new products from Knit Pro, and I have got one of my skeins of Owl on the Swift already. I forgot to say that this is the grey colour, Logian 333, and the pink is Canyon 316. So yeah, I'm about to start my yarn winding party. All caked up and ready to go. It's 9 o'clock on Sunday evening. We've had a nice relaxed afternoon. As you can see, I have a sleeping cat behind me. We've also got the fire going, which is really nice and cosy. There we go. It's roaring away over there. We have been playing Final Fantasy IX. So I have been working away on my Somerset versus Norway mitts, and these are the front, so you can see my hairs in the moonlight are starting to take shape, and then this will obviously be the palm of the mitt. I've got a couple of really cute little cat stitch markers marking my thumb gusset. They were a present from James on my 40th birthday last year. It's been a really nice Sunday. Had some fresh air, had some time to relax, and of course a new cast on is always fun. Morning! So it is early-ish on Monday morning. Oh, I had such a lovely night's sleep last night. I didn't want to get up when the alarm went off, but never mind. I do not fear Monday mornings anymore. I love my job, so it would be churlish of me to complain. I'm out for a bit of a walk before I go along to the shop. As you can see, I'm down near the front again, but instead of being right down the front, you can see behind me where we were walking along yesterday, there's a little park that runs along the top of the hill. So that's how I'm starting my day, heading off to the shop. I've got a small class this morning, and yeah, we'll see what the rest of the day brings. So it's lunchtime on Monday. My morning group has finished. It was quite a lively group this morning. We started that group off with just 2 ladies. Today we had 5, so that was fun. It's nice to have a few more people just to keep the chat going, and people can share their ideas, and there's lots of enthusiasm when there's lots of people around the table working on different things. So it's been a really nice start to the week. I am expecting another one of my regular customers to come in this afternoon. She's a customer, but she's a friend. A lot of my regulars, I consider them to be friends rather than customers. You do get to know people quite well. So this lady is recently come back to knitting, and she's been knitting a lot. I've talked about her before. I've knit her some baby garments, and she's now gotten back into knitting baby garments herself, and I do a lot of her sewing up. She loves the knitting but can't stand the sewing up, but you know, I think we're probably all a bit guilty of that, but you know, she wants to pay me to sew up, then I will. So yeah, I'm expecting her to come and sit and keep me company in the shop this afternoon. I have also knit on Friday night. I knit up 2 balls of the Sirdar Bohemia yarn, which is a ultra super chunky, they're calling it, which is massive, thick sort of singles yarn. And this particular customer has asked me to knit up a few for her family. She can't manage the big needles. You need to knit these on 20mm. So I've got one of them in the sort of teals and blues, and the other in the mustards and greys. So I knit those on Friday night. I just need to sew those up so that they are cows, and then she can take those away with her this afternoon. That shouldn't take me too long. And then also today, depending on what Anne brings in, she may have finished something that I need to start sewing. But if I am able to do any of my own work, then I've bought father-in-law's sock. I've got probably about, I should probably count, maybe like 10-15 rows to go before I start on the toe decrease, which is really exciting because then these will be done. I was hoping, I think I said before, to have enough of this left over to make myself a pair of fingerless mitts, but I'm not convinced that there will be enough. I might give it a go anyway. I might find like a contrasting blue or something to do the sort of rib cuff, and see how far I get. But yeah, that's what's on the agenda for the rest of the day. I do need to finish off my window. One of my regulars has lent me a bunch of cut out snowflakes. She used to be a window designer for John Lewis, and I need to get round to hanging those up. She brought them into me last Thursday and I just haven't had a chance. So yeah, maybe I'll try and squeeze that in as well. But if not, that is definitely on the agenda for tomorrow morning. I don't think there's much else to say for now. So if I get a chance, I shall pop back later and let you know how I've got on with my plans for this afternoon. The Bohemia cows are finished, so I've got the first one and the second one all sewn up. So yeah, if I just shove one on, give you a nice idea, nice squishy, cozy. I might have shown, in fact I think I have shown these on the previous videos that I've made. I've now knit 6 altogether. But they're a really quick and easy project. They basically take an hour or so to knit, because the yarn's so chunky and it knits up so quickly. So there's the mustardy one and the blue one all done, so hopefully she will be pleased with those. And that also means I can now crack on and get some work done on my sock. So with any luck, in the next day or so, I shall be telling you all about my finished pair of socks too. Morning guys, it's Tuesday. It is about 9:15. I'm running a little bit late today. I should still be able to get in a short walk before work, but I think it will probably just be up into the town centre. I need to grab a couple of birthday cards and things on the way to work, so that will have to suffice. But this evening I shall be heading into Cardiff, so I should get my steps in and plenty of fresh air then. We've got a Christmas party to attend on Friday for James's work, and I need to go and find something to wear. I just put on the dress that I thought I was going to wear and it looks god awful, so emergency shopping. Let's hope I can find something. So I might be able to take a little bit of footage of some of the Christmas lights and things in Cardiff. Sorry, noisy cat behind me. She's got some breakfast. I let her out and it's really cold out there, so she comes straight back in. So I've closed the door and of course now she wants to go back out again. Anyway, before I head off to work, I just wanted to show you I have a finished object. So father-in-law's socks are finished, and I put them into soak last night, put them on the blockers, and they're pretty much dry. Obviously we're at that time of year where we've got the heating on in the house, so things dry pretty quickly. And I usually leave my sock blockers in the bathroom, and I think where I put them is on top of a central heating pipe, so they tend to dry quite quickly. So yeah, finished object. Gift knit off the list. I'm really pleased with them. It was the opal yarn, which I've already spoken about. I don't have the colour number with me, but you can find that out either on my project page or by watching earlier video. And yeah, so I did a 3x1 rib all the way down the leg and into the foot. I've never made socks for father-in-law before, so he's got the same size foot as James, but obviously sometimes people's feet can be wider, etc. So I thought I'd put a rib in just to be on the safe side. Hopefully they'll fit. Worst case scenario, I shall unpick the toe and extend them. Yeah, I did the modified Eye of Partridge heel, which you can find in the Hermione's Everyday pattern by Erica Luda. Cast on 68 stitches, knit 70 rounds for the leg, popped in the heel, and then I think it's about 65 rounds before I started the toe decrease. I really love those colours, and I think they're quite a nice one for a man. I'm not sure whether David would wear super bright socks or fun socks or anything like that. Don't think I've ever seen him in crazy socks, so hopefully he'll like those. They're colourful, but they're also quite muted. I love them. If I can ever get hold of another skein of this yarn, then I will knit a pair of these for me for sure. So after I finish those, last night, of course, the rule is you have to cast on another pair of socks as soon as one comes off the needle. So I am knitting with another opal yarn. It's this fun pink and purple colourway. The colour number is 7474, and I believe this was something to do with endangered species, although I could be wrong. But there's a picture of a starfish on the front and this little badge with a toucan on. So it comes from that series of yarn, and I managed to get quite a bit done. We sat and watched some telly last night. We were catching up with Star Wars Rebels. And so I managed to knit a fair way down the leg of these socks. So originally I thought I was making these for my gran, but while I was winding up the yarn the other day, I actually found a cowl that I knit a little while ago from some Debbie Bliss Andes yarn, which is a discontinued yarn. I think it's wool and silk, off the top of my head. And a while ago, I mean we're talking maybe 5-6 years plus, I crocheted her a hot water bottle cover from this yarn, and then I used the leftovers to knit a cowl a little while ago. And I never wore the cowl, but I refound it the other day, so I thought I would send that to my gran, and that means that I've got one less gift knit to make now, so it takes a little bit of pressure off me. So instead these socks are going to be for my sister, and I think she'll love them. They're interesting to knit up. As you can see, the colours kind of like come out fairly random. Sorry, the light's not amazingly good. It's all coming in from the side here. It's kind of almost like camouflage. They're not really me, but I think my sister will like them. So yeah, I should be taking these along with me today. I should be able to get in a bit of knitting on the train backwards and forwards to Cardiff. It's only a short journey, 15 minutes or so, but it's usually enough time to get in a few rows on a sock. So yeah, we'll see how we go. Given that I knit all of that in a couple of hours last night, I'm hopeful that these will be off the needles fairly quickly, and then I can move on to something else from the gift knit list. I've only got a couple of weeks left now, and my list is reasonably ambitious for the time that I've got left. So yeah, that's it for this morning. I'm heading off to the shop and should have a reasonably quiet day in the shop. No classes, so I'm hoping to maybe get the bits and pieces done for the window that I want to do, and if I have the energy, I also would like to start doing what's the word I'm looking for? A bit of a stock take on some of the pattern books. I do have my inventory done on everything, but I've done it on the yarn, the single patterns, but I've got lots of books dotted around the shop, and I never quite got round to doing a proper inventory on those. So that's the plan for the day in the shop. We'll see how that goes. So I shall catch you guys later. Hi, it's when is it? Tuesday afternoon, and it's been a fairly quiet day in the shop, so I have decided to tackle the window. So I put a few festive bits and pieces in there at the end of last week, but I have a big pile of snowflakes on the table that were lent to me by one of my lovely customers and friends, and so I am going to hang a few of those up in the window to make us look a little bit more festive than we already are. Here is the mess that is the table at the moment. I've got some giant snowflakes and some smaller ones. I've also got tucked away somewhere a few little crocheted snowflakes, and I'm going to see how many of these I can get hung up in the window. I've done a couple already. The hook that I've strung those two up against is actually bored into the ceiling, but my other hooks are only little sticky hooks. So I'm a little bit concerned that some of the snowflakes might be too heavy, and I don't want them to drop down because they're, again, quite heavy. Don't want to damage anything else in the window, so I think it's going to be a little bit of experimentation. And I also, for the purposes of getting the window sorted, I've removed the tree that we had in the window, but I'll give you a quick shot. Here's the tree. It's a bit tricky to get a good shot of it because there's so much stuff in the background, but again, another one of my lovely customers has lent me this lovely silvery twig tree, and I have hung the knitted baubles onto that. We've also got a few beaded ornaments and a few other little bits and pieces. We've got these gorgeous crocheted skates. There's also, if I can find one over here, a star that a few of the customers have made. So yeah, that has been in the window, and I've put that on top of this lovely crocheted blanket that we had a few window displays back, but that looks really nice when it's in the window, so I have to be mindful that I'm not detracting from that when I'm hanging these snowflakes up as well. So I have finished the window for now. I'm sure there will be more than one iteration of the festive window. I don't know how easy it's going to be to show you. As always, we battle when we come to try and do this with light and reflection, but I will show you first what the window looks like from the inside. So I have got my tree in the centre. We have got a lovely wooden reindeer that one of my customers has lent me. We've got a bunch of snowballs littering the ground, and then over this side we have got a sample of a jumper sent to us by Rowan knitting their lovely cocoon yarn. So that's the view from the outside, from the inside. Got snowflakes hanging. That's probably going to be the hardest bit to show you. As predicted, these big snowflakes were too heavy for the hooks that I have on the ceiling, so I had to cheat. There's a light fitting up there, so I have hung them from the lights. We never use those lights, but then we also have a few little crocheted snowflakes, so I have managed to hang up a few of those as well. From the outside, there's the little reindeer, the tree, and then the sun planet. So yeah, that's it for the window for now. It is, what is the time? 10 to 3. I'm not going to bother starting with the book inventory today. That can wait till later on in the week. I am now going to treat myself to an afternoon of sitting here at the table. Well, an afternoon, the next hour or so before I start tidying up and getting ready to lock up. But I'm going to be working on my Persian Tiles blanket, which is a crochet blanket. This is the Eastern Jewels version. I am again spoken about this before. It's a lovely kit from Stylecraft. The original Persian Tiles pattern is from Jane Crow. This Eastern Jewels variation was designed by Lucia Dunn, and it comes as a kit. You get everything you need for just under £30, and I'm working my way through mine. I have now finished 2 rows and then the filler blocks. So this is the first block on row 3. I have got this round where I am filling in the gaps between the sort of flower, I call this a flower motif, and then fill in the gaps to make it octagonal. And then I've got 2 more rounds to finish that block off, and then it can go into the blanket. This will be the first block of the 3rd row. There's 4 rows altogether. So yeah, that's the rest of my afternoon. Morning guys, welcome to Wednesday. It is a beautiful day here today. I'm standing on the corner of my street, about to head up to town to do the Wednesday cake run. I thought I'd just show you the beautiful blue skies and sunshine that we have here today. It's 10 to 10. I have arrived in store, cake shopping done. I also stopped at the printers to get some new gift vouchers printed out, as we only had a couple left. 10 minutes before the shop opens, 40 minutes before my group starts. As always, if you've watched the videos before, you know that my first job of the day is to tackle the window. We're in a really old building, single glazed, and at this time of year, things get all steamed up. So yeah, that's what I'm dealing with. You can see the condensation in the window. But I have a handy new gadget. This is a Karcher window vacuum. So one of the lovely things that I love about our little bunch of shops, we're not in the town centre, we're just a little row of local shops, is the shop owner community around here is really friendly. And there is a hairdresser along the way, and he turned me on to one of these fantastic gadgets. He lent me his last week, and basically you just switch it on and you hoover out the water condensation that's in your window. And it turned out that Sam, who works here and runs some of the classes for me, owned one of these. So we now have one of these in the shop, and it makes my half-hour job in the mornings, a 10-minute job, which is fantastic. And there we go, nice bright clear window again. Isn't that fantastic? Took me less than 5 minutes. Morning guys, it's Thursday, it's 9:30 and I've just arrived in the shop. Yesterday disappeared and I didn't get a chance to record any more video. Today is our busiest day. We have 3 groups in the shop, so it's very unlikely that I will get much time to record much today. So I'll probably be wrapping up this video. I'm contemplating taking part in Vlogmas. If you've not heard of Vlogmas, basically you, through December or up until Christmas, you record little snippets and upload them every day. So thinking about doing that. So just in case I do, I think I shall put together what I've got for this video and upload it as it is. So I managed to get a little bit of knitting done yesterday. But before I tell you about that, I'm going to talk to you about my finished object, which I briefly spoke about in the last episode, but I didn't show. This is my Lakeside shawl. I can't remember who the designer is off the top of my head. Apologies for that. I do have a project page on my Ravelry. So the details will be there, and I knit this from a lovely skein of Miss Babs Yowza, which was gifted to me by my lovely friend Lisa, who is Use Your Yarn on Instagram and Ravelry, and the colourway is called Reishi, and here it is, and I absolutely love it. It is completely my colour. I love these autumnal orange, browns, creams. It's absolutely gorgeous, and it blocked out to be massive. I followed the pattern as was. I contemplated putting in an extra lace repeat at the end because I still have a little bit of yarn left, but actually I thought rather than do that, I might make myself a little bluebird of happiness, which is a free pattern on Ravelry. I've made myself a few of those in the past, and I've got a little garland of them hanging in my craft room from a few special yarns, so I thought I might make a bird with the leftovers rather than add another lace repeat. And while initially I did wonder if this shawl was going to be big enough, I do like a nice big cosy shawl. It blocked out wonderfully, and yeah, it's massive, so I can obviously wrap it round, and I've got these huge sort of tails left, so they can be tucked under, go around again. Yeah, it's fantastic. I absolutely enjoyed every single stitch of this. Beautiful colours. Love it. So I started a new project yesterday. I know I have been saying, oh, I shouldn't start new projects, need to work on my whips, but this is a gift, so it's on my list of things to get done in December. I managed to knit through, so of course I'm part way through a row because I ran out of yarn last night. I'm using, if I show you the yarn balled up, it is Stylecraft Batik yarn, which is a mix of acrylic and wool. It's a double knit yarn. Comes in lots of lovely colours. There is also an Elements version of this yarn, which is a variegated dye base. But I'm knitting this really simple shawl scarf. I can't really show it to you very well. I'm just going to pop this on pause. I'll finish the row and then hopefully I'll be able to show it to you better. Okay, so I finished the row. It's still not going to be perfectly easy to show you because it's much longer than the cord now. It's a really simple shallow shawl, almost like a scarf sort of, but it has that sort of triangle bit in the middle. It's got a sort of picot effect edge, and basically the pattern, which I don't have any more copies, I sold the last copy yesterday. I think it's Stylecraft 9409. If it's not that, it's 9406. I can't remember which number comes at the end. But the pattern suggests that you use 3 50-gram balls of yarn. This is my first. It's already quite long. You could definitely get that round. So I might see how long I am after 2 balls. and see. It's a really simple knit, just garter stitch with a sort of bit of finagling at the beginning of each row to create that picot edge, and I think this will be gifted to one of my nieces for Christmas. I'm knitting this in the Heather shade, which is 1906, yeah, started that yesterday. Nice easy TV knitting. I've stalled a little bit on my sister's sock. I'm at the heel turn. I need 10 minutes to concentrate and get that done, but James and I were doing lots of chatting last night, so I needed something simple, so I just knit until that ball of yarn ran out. I've got my second ball wound up, so I should be able to get on with that today. I think that's everything that I am going to talk to you about for this video. As I say, I could be back with Vlogmas. We'll see how that goes. Thank you for joining me. I hope that you have enjoyed the video, and fingers crossed I'll see you again soon. Lots of woolly hugs to you all. Bye for now.